Were the plays we saw inappropriate this time around? Well, I can tell you the first one was, because it's the wildly inappropriate poetry of Arthur Greenleaf Holmes, written and performed by actor and comedian Gordon Boudreau. And I gotta tell you, it was just that. Extremely bawdy, naughty, and nasty poetry of an Elizabethan bent. Mr. Holmes showed concern for his audience and assured us that he would not be offended if we were so offended that we had to leave his vulgar vicinity. This was so outrageously funny and clever. The man can make cheese sound erotic with his "I bought a cheese and thought of you." The title alone caused me to laugh so hard I snorted, which apparently is a good thing, as he likes to take count of the laugh snorters. He hit pay dirt with me, as I love dirty poems. He expounded on the non-virtues of a knothole, and an extremely thoughtful poem, "I Built My Love a Menstrual Hut," with a counterpoem for the men in the audience. This is the best tonic for chasing away those winter blues balls. Happy Face Plus. David Lindsay-Abaire has taken his play Kimberly Akimbo and has added Janine Tesori's catchy music to make this a very special musical. Kimberly Akimbo suffers from a rare genetic disease that causes premature aging. She may be 15, but she looks like she is in her 70s. If that isn't bad enough, she has miserable white trash parents. Her father, Buddy, has a drinking problem and cares more for his car than his family. Her mother, Patty, is pregnant and she only thinks about herself and totally disregards Kimberly's feelings. Kimberly wishes just once that her family could just sit around a dining table and have a civilized dinner together. She even writes to make a wish for something beautiful in her life. The teenagers, Teresa, Martin, Delia, and Aaron, along with Kimberly, like to hang out at the ice skating rink where fellow teen Seth works. In Chekhovian fashion, everyone pines for the wrong person. Teresa likes Martin, who likes Aaron, who likes Delia, who likes Teresa. Seth is a sweet kid who always does the right thing to make up for his grieving distant dad and screw-up brother. He befriends Kimberly. Everything changes when Patty's no-account sister Deborah blows into town with a get-rich illegal scheme that she gets Kimberly and the teens to help her pull off. What will become of all these tangled relationships, convoluted schemes, and hopeful dreams?
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing that Kimberly has this terrible disease, but she's the most normal person in the family. And, like, even though she's young, she really is the most mature. Her parents are like terrible children. And, it's both the saddest musical I've ever seen and also one of the most hopeful, because she takes her life into her own command and is determined to live while she can. Victoria Clark gives like the performance of a lifetime. She's always great, but she is amazing in this role. She really feels like both the young kid and this older person. It's really one of the most wonderful musicals that I've ever seen. And it really, really, really hits you so hard emotionally. Absolute happy face.
I know David Lindsay-Abaire has this flair for creating these quirky characters in unusual situations that grab your heart, but they still make you laugh at their outrageous behavior, like we know from his Funny Mirrors and Wonder of the World. And Justin Cooley as Seth, who develops feelings for Kimberly, and she for him. I mean, there was nothing Harold and Maude about it at all. There was something so tender and lovely. And even though the mother and father are horrible, they all have a moment where you see a glimpse of them as good people underneath all their awfulness. And the teenagers, they capture the angst and hopefulness of high schoolers beautifully. And and Bonnie Milligan as this delinquent fairy godmother. It was hilarious. She was just hysterical. So I just give this a major happy face too. I absolutely I loved it when I saw it at Atlantic. I loved it when I saw it as a play with Mary Louise Burke. It's just so wonderful. And Jessica Stone is a fabulous director to get all this out of everybody and give us the emotional release in the audience.
So go and see this.
So I have been at 59th Street Theaters for 3 plays that we saw, which we're going to talk about now. Let's see, there's Heaven, Frankenstein is Drunk, and the Sheep Have Jumped the Fence, and the Immortal Jellyfish Girl. And some are from the Origins Irish Festival, and some aren't. Anyway, Bina and I are now going to talk about Heaven, and I'm going to start with Mark, because Mark, you can read Mark's review on the Facebook page, because Mark saw it with me last night. Okay, what let's see. In Eugene O'Brien's ironically titled Heaven, Merritt and Mel had been in reasonably companionable but passionless marriage for 20 years. And while away from home for a family wedding, the Irish wife and husband separately explored desires repressed during their passionless 20-year marriage. And he gave it a happy face minus.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, this is a Fish Amble Theatre Company, which is my very favorite, and I never want to miss anything. And I still remember the Blueberry Hill, on the Blueberry Hill and mustard and everything. So I was so excited. And I tried so very hard to get into the play. And I love monologues, and they are all monologues, alternating monologues. But at the same time, I just somehow the other could not, I didn't connect to it, you know. Say, okay, you mentioned they married and, you know, played by Janet Moran, and Mel played by Andrew Bennett. I mean, they're husband and wife. They've been married for 20 years. They're in their 50s. And
she has a daughter that hates her.
Yeah, Shoan is her name, you know. And it's not that they both lost the desire of having intimate relationship with each other, but they have very Catholic, you know, like very Irish kind of. They have repressed emotions and sexuality, but not the wife. Not the wife.
No.
She's very hot.
Yeah, and at the wedding, we should say that she met an old love at the wedding.
And she's having a wonderful time dancing and drinking and drugs and love affair and all that. But you know,
well, no, she doesn't do drugs. She does the drinking. He does the drugs, and he's never done that before. And he just had a heart operation and had stents put in.
Yeah,
and he is. For some reason, he's very attracted to Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the main problem for me, because it's not only once or twice could be funny. He really, really talks about Jesus all the time in every monologue. He's sexually excited by Jesus.
Well, that's his thing. That's what he is going through.
Yeah, and then he meets.
She's going through the lost love and what's going to happen there, and he's going through. Well, he's gay, but he and his attractive. You know, his type is Jesus type.
He really is excited by Jesus with a very sexual desire, you know.
Well, anyway, I'm going to give it a happy face, because I really did like it. I mean, and I don't normally like monologues, but in this case, I was interested in what these people had to say, and and at the end, I'm even wondering, like, oh, what's going to happen to these people? So what do you give it?
I love this company, and acting was good,
very good, very good,
and writing I did not care for. So I think, just to be nice to these people, I will give a mixed. Otherwise, I could have given mixed for me.
And happy for me.
Wakka Wakka's production of The Immortal Jellyfish Girl is set in a dystopian future. I believe it was 2255, where humans as we know it no longer exist. They're two different groups: humans mixed with technology and humans who are mixed up with all other biological parts. And these two groups are at war. And there's the jellyfish girl is sort of cobbled together by this big turtle of different parts, including human. And there's also a insect boy that she calls Bug, who has a technological optical device. They're not involved in the war at all. They, in fact, come to love each other. And can they survive and make humans and all other kinds of life survive? I found the characters really likable, the puppets incredibly wonderful, all the visual effects astounding, but the narrative I thought was confusing and not all that good. There's also a fox character who is like a narrator who's set in our time, and he explains things, but I think he made it more confusing. So for me, it was a mixed bag of visually astounding, absolute happy face for that, tied to a story that, although I liked the characters, I just couldn't accept. So because it was so wonderful visually, I gave it a happy face minus.
Yeah, I'm like you. I do not like dystopian stories at all. I just, but I love Wakka Wakka. Oh my God, to have Wakka Wakka back. I mean, I was crying so happy. I mean, their baby universe and Fabrique were just genius. But just to kind of make it simplified, there was a basic plot of the evil Doyen who was like Putin, who destroyed for the sake of destroying anything that wasn't of their class, which showed no class. And then there were these young, quirky lovers out to save the world. That part was understandable, but was hard to decipher if the turtle was a good guy or a bad guy. And there was this prophecy that kept getting mentioned about a Medusa and destroying the city, which seemed to contradict the desires of the Doyen. In the end, I didn't care if the plot made sense. I cared about the characters and the odyssey they were going on. My takeaway was that I think this was to show the importance of saving the planet from toxic technology, but maybe not. I don't know. All I know is that there were twists and turns and truly magical moments. So because I love Wakka Wakka so much, I'm just giving this flat out a happy face.
It's a dark and stormy night, and a glacier has shown up in the middle of a town in Ireland for no apparent reason. And inside happens to be Frankenstein. This is the play Frankenstein is drunk and the sheep have all jumped the fences. And when Frankenstein comes out of the glacier, as it's called in Ireland, he meets the woman of his dreams. There she is waiting for him to thaw out. And evidently she starts a flame with him. This play is hysterically funny and at the same time really shows up a very dear, heartfelt romance between this tough Irish woman and the monster, Frankenstein. I was absolutely bowled over. I don't remember the person who did the set, but there's an armoire in the middle of the stage which serves as a bedroom, it serves as an entrance to a house. It was absolutely brilliant. But again, the most touching part of it was this romance between an immortal and a mortal. And you realize that it is ill-fated. And you realize that the monster has feelings. So it's just like when Mary Shelley wrote it. It wasn't the monster's fault, it was society. So I'm big happy face, lots of rain if you can see it out there. I'm in the middle of a parking lot. And what would be more fitting on a dark and stormy night? So that's my review, big happy face.
And the set was, and the scenic and costume design was by Ryan Dawson Light, Laight, Late.
Yes,
And,
well, he did a marvelous job.
Oh, he did. I mean, but the cast, I mean, Nikki Harley was the monster's wife and she was a town slut, but she took one look at Frankenstein and that was it. She found the love of her life and she finally found her soulmate. And Rondre Lewis as a monster was so endearing. It's like the town people, played by Vicki Allen and Chris Robinson, and they were also the narrators and had many different parts. You know, they were at first scared because he is the monster. He's Frankenstein. So your default is to hate him. But then they began to realize, wait, this guy was saving lives on the boulders and helping build things. And he was so useful and kind and such a great neighbor that soon they began to love him too. So it's like appearances can be deceiving. And all the characters were just so lovable. And the monster, every now and then we got flashbacks to his Hollywood days with Elsa Lancaster that he had a flame for, a torch for, even though he was scared of the light. And it was just, I love this so much. The acting, the story, everything about it. And it was just, you know, it was funny, but it was touching at the same time. So I'm definitely giving this one a happy face too. Here we are with Bina Sharif, this time not as a reviewer, but as a playwright. You've got to show it. Beautiful New City coming up. So tell us the name and all the gory details.
Yeah, well, this play is called Life is a One-Act Play, and it is in two parts. First part is called Situation, and the second part is called The Jungle. And I wrote it during the COVID time, right? So it's sad and witty also at the same time. So tragic comic kind of thing. And it's two roommates who are kind of intimate also together. And there's a lot of lots of discussion about what's going on. You know, with things were happening. George Floyd died, and you know, like that there's a section about that.
So is this like 2019, 2020?
Yeah, no,
okay.
2020. I wrote it 2020. And then it was booked at TNC and it was not done because of some equity problems, you know. So she really wanted to get the play done again. And 2 weeks ago, 13 days exactly ago, you know, that I took the booking. So I'm a little nervous. But me and Kevin only, which is easier to rehearse actually, you know, because there's no third actor. This is how I originally wrote it. And I'm glad that there's no other person because it's logistics are difficult. So I mean, we kind of laugh quite a bit. I don't know if the humor will come out for other people. And I'm happy about that because lately I had no humor in my life at all. So we'll see, you know. Yeah.
But it's funny. I said this to you once. You're so serious in life, and you judge plays so seriously. But in your plays, you're hysterical. I mean, I still laugh about the Englishness of it all.
Know.
Favorite line I quote. It's one of my quotes I use all the time.
Sleeping with horses. Yeah, this is what Quentin Crisp came. And he said he's never seen anything better, and he's British, you know. He said he has never seen anything better than this play. My energy was different, you know, like now it's a little bit different. But my problem is physical because I have to have some kind of blocking, you know, like staging. So when I sit down, even in my normal life, when I sit down and I get up, I can't really walk right away. I have to just move my legs or do something, even in a cafe, which I don't really go to now because of this problem. So, but on stage, it's just like, I'm trying to see if I can put a line or two to make the character disabled because I really look disabled. You know?
That's the luxury of being the playwright. You can put whatever you wanted it to you know, fix anything in real life.
There was the line already in 2020 because Kevin is American. Kevin's character is American. My character is an immigrant. You know, so there's like he does a lot of bickering. You know about. He doesn't realize it, but he talks about cultures, kind of like, you know, because at what time I say something about the university, and I said I've been to all the universities and college, and he said, "Where? Which university?" And I said, "No, not here, back home." He said, "That doesn't count." You know, something like that. He said,
"Oh, you're writing a horrible part for your husband."
No.
You're the villain.
No, he's not a villain because it's a danger he can come across as a villain if he doesn't do a teasing kind of thing. It's like a teasing. It's like he's having fun. He's like, he's actually making fun of the modern society who thinks everybody is immigrant is dark color, they are no good and all that stuff. Actually, that's what he is doing.
Oh.
Because he's an activist. The character is an activist.
Oh,
He
okay.
doesn't like what's going on in America right now. The Black Lives Matter. He likes that, but he doesn't like deaths going on, the corona happening. George Floyd is the main thing. He thinks we are. That's why the title is called The Jungle. He said it's a jungle. It's become a jungle.
It's true.
That's what, so he's not criticizing my culture. He's criticizing the modern machine culture.
And the way people react to other people's culture.
Exactly. But I told him every time I said, you watch out because people might think you are racist towards me because I am immigrant. I look immigrant. I'm playing an immigrant. Come on, please. So at one point,
luckily he's a very good actor.
Oh,
Kevin Mitchell Martin is a very good actor.
He's a very good actor.
Oh, he should be. His uncle is Thomas Mitchell from Gone with the Wind.
Oh, he is an actor. He's like really an actor. He's a Shakespearean actor. He's classically trained with not Uta Hagen. Uta Hagen with Stella Adler. A couple of years with Stella Adler and Kim Stanley. He's a student of theater. He studied. He's like British people who go to the training. And, there's a line he says, he says something and I say, it's a shame that you kind of think low of me. And he said, no. I think very highly of you. You have to be strong, not too sensitive. I'm very sensitive as a person also. So he's saying to me, this is very funny. He says, you have to be strong. He means, emotionally strong. And I said, I am strong. And at that time I get up to go do something and I can't get up. I can't get up. I walk with limp and he breaks the fourth wall and he said to the audience, she's strong.
So then you wink.
Yes, there are little funny parts, but if we do it right, if we do it right, yeah. But it's very sad part for me because I also talk about George Floyd's death. And then my brother at that time was alive, so it's a sad and happy. I want it to be happier.
People don't realize, when you're doing these parts, what's going on in your own life, and it colors what you're doing on stage. But the stage is like this healing process. It really is magic. Theater is magic.
Yeah, actually it is. The thing is, I have never taken a booking when I have 10 days to do it, But I said to myself, get out, you have to get out of the kitchen. I'm in my Kevin's kitchen with the window, just like next to the window. And I just look outside and I just I wander around, hours pass. So I said, get out, even if nobody comes. But no, I'm very worried. I want people to come to see the show.
Once word gets out that Bina's finally got a new play up.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, you got people in the garden that time because you couldn't do a play at Theater for the City for some technical
a lot of
reason.
people came.
And you just threw it together in the garden, and we all came.
Yeah, everybody came. It was a very fun day, fun evening. Yeah, everybody came. No, you guys have been supporters of me for a long time. I appreciate that.
It's easy. I mean, you cannot walk down the East Village with her without people stopping her all the time. You are very well known. You are a downtown person.
That's what Crystal says. You know everybody. You have to bring the audience. You know everybody. I said,
don't put pressure on me, please.
No, I know. I tried to explain something to Crystal. This is a while ago. She's been saying this to me for a long time. She's hung up on Muslim audience coming to the theater. One day I said to her, do you have a time to have a tea with me? So we went to Taraduchi to have tea. And then I said, Crystal, you don't seem to understand. If the Jewish people love the theater, they go to the theater, it's in their blood, and I want that to be in the blood of the Muslim. It's not there. So people think that I know everybody. But, one time my late brother's son was here. He's been coming a lot to United States, to New York. So we're going to the Savitt art train and 5-6 people stopped me. Bina, how are you? So he said, Bina, you should be the mayor of New York because you are so well known. I said only in the East Village, right? So we were going to the museum, Metropolitan Museum. Lo and behold, somebody in the museum, hi, Bina.
No.
I can't tell you. Bina. I said, what? Oh my God, I've seen you. I saw one of your play. My God, I've never forgotten it. I said, which play? She forgot the name though. No. I said, what was I doing in the play? She told me and I told her the name of the play, right? And my nephew said, I told you. not only in the East Village, people know you at the Metropolitan Museum too. I say it's a good luck chance, you know. So I mean, people know me. I mean, I've done theater for 40 years. You know, I was like the first Pakistani. There was no Pakistani woman here. There was no Pakistani woman playwright. You know, or any artist that I know. Now some assholes, they just like young Muslim women from wherever born here. They say, I am the first Pakistani woman doing the theater, doing play. And some people who know me, they say, oh, you don't. Bina Sharif, you forgot Bina Sharif.
You wouldn't be here without Bina Sharif.
there's
You
like-
know,
she's
it's like
the- what is the word called?
she broke the glass ceiling.
Not the glass ceiling. It's something else which takes you forward. You know, like what is the sentence? It'll come to me. Yeah. She says, no.
Oh, okay. Well, time
Okay.
to wrap up the interview.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, I mean, not only is Bina's play going there, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that also Eduardo Machado is doing a play called, well, it'll be in my listing, but Crystal Field may be acting in it, you know, depending how she's feeling.
It's called, it's not about me.
It's not about me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then there's a play called Soledad that's also going on there. So I mean, I'm going to be living at Theater for the New City right now. And on my Facebook page, I saw 3 plays there recently that closed during Christmas time and New Year. So you can check those reviews out.
But can I tell when my play opens? And
Oh,
yeah,
all the
it
particulars.
opens on 26th of January, next Thursday. And it's run Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 o'clock, Sunday, 3 o'clock, till February the 12th. And Theater for the New City is 155 First Avenue between East 9th and 10th Street. And the reservation telephone number is 212-254-1109. And it's cheap, it's $18. So please come. It's less than a movie ticket.
And there's lots of nice restaurants. You can do a play in a day and have a nice time.
Yeah, a lot of new restaurants have opened actually on First Avenue. So thank you very much. Yeah.
So our next show is going to be February 4th, and you can read on the Facebook page Offal Endings that Ben will be reviewing. That closes January 29th. We're going to see at Rattlestick Memorial, and we're going to see Ashley Wind, which is this, I guess, mentalist or magician. Anyway, it should be good. And also a lot of the Under the Radar and Origins First Diver shows, they've all closed. So go to our Facebook page. There's so many reviews on there that have closed already that you might want to hear about, because maybe they'll come back again and you want to see them. So anyway, see you next February 4th.